Hello and welcome back to another video. It is currently May and I need to get all my May spreads done as I'm running a little late. So I thought let's have a flick through of my April spreads, see what we want to keep, see what we want to change, and then we can start setting up May. So straight into it. Our April spread was this lovely floral spread that I did, which I've actually made into cards, so a little bit of self-promo here. Please head on over to my website www.lucylocksart.com where you can snag yourselves some birthday, wedding and just a generic card with this lovely floral design on. I made those and they are for sale over on my website. Free postage and packaging for anyone in the UK when you spend over £5. So if you do want to buy something like that and support me, I would very much appreciate that. So head on over. But I really liked this. I loved how dainty it was. I thought it was a really lovely design. So very nice opening page there, double page spread. Then we had my sunshine and showers. Now this was supposed to be my mood tracker, but I loved it so much that I could not bring myself to ruin it by adding blocks of colour or anything like that. So that's why it's remained the same. I do apologise if you were waiting to see what I did with that page, but I just couldn't bring myself to do anything with it. So I've left it as a bit of a kind of just a bit of a quotey page, you know, something a bit more artistic. And then we have my health tracker. I really enjoy doing these. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't fill these in every day. I probably wait a couple of days and then I do a bulk fill in. I have apps on my phone that track all of these things for me, and my watch, so I'm very fortunate I can backtrack. I don't have to do this every single day. What I did notice is I'm tracking sleep, not really sure why. It's not really showing me anything. I know I probably don't get as much sleep as I should do most of the time, but it's not really, I'm not gaining anything from it, and I'm not changing my habits from that sleep tracker. So I'm going to take the sleep out. And likewise with water, as you can see, I tracked one day and it wasn't even good. I drink water, I drink juice, I drink coffee, tea, you know, I hydrate, and I know when I need to do more and I know when I have hydrated enough. So I'm going to probably take sleep and water out of there. Calories, yes, I know it looks sparse, but I want to get back into it. I've had a steady slow of losing weight this month, really slow, but I'm happier with that because then I'm not going to put it on quite as quickly, hopefully. And so I want to track the calories a bit better. Same with steps. I've noticed I've been way more active at the end of the month here, as you can see from my exercise tracker as well. And so I'm excited to kind of keep going with that and push that a little bit more. So I will probably keep those in, and same with cycle. It's always nice to know that. So I'm going to keep that as it is. And then we've got my weekly spreads. I really like how this sets out. It's the perfect amount of room. I'm tracking things when I haven't done them, and I just think it works really well. So again, I'll probably be keeping that, but hopefully doing something a bit different. So we are going to start setting up the May spreads. I'm thinking cherry blossom, you know, the darling buds of May. I love a cherry blossom and I love painting them, so I think that's what we're going to do. But I'm thinking of bringing in some of this handmade paper by Cardi. This is some older stuff I have, which is a bit thinner than the newer stuff they make, but I thought it would be perfect. I'm going to do kind of more boxy stuff and stick things in, just make it a little bit more textured, a little bit more interesting, and that's kind of the vibe we're going for. So let's get into it, let's design May, and then we'll reconvene at the end and have a quick flick through. So I trialled and errored a few different techniques of doing these cherry blossoms. At first I used some Real Brush watercolour pens by Arteza, and I found some lovely colours, but I couldn't get that lovely faded effect that we achieved with the florals from April's spreads. So I kind of wanted that same watercolour look to the flowers. As you can see here, I'm still not perfecting it, and it does take me a few shots. It's similar to the April spread, where my first spread of doing the florals just wasn't very refined and perfected, and as I went along in the spreads, they definitely got better. So unknowingly, I kind of went down the same vibe as January's spread, where I did the paintings on this handmade paper and then ended up cutting it out. That was not my intention from the get-go. I definitely wanted this paper to be part of it, and I wanted to paint on the paper because it will hold the paint better. However, I really tried to do a few different things. So for this circular bit here, I wanted to do like a circular rip around the edges, like as in a circle, this art within a circle, if I can get my words out, and kind of have a deckled edge with that, and then that stuck in. However, I painted this really off circle. It was a bit more oval looking, and so I couldn't get that ripped decal edge that I wanted, and so it ended up being cut out just like the January spread. And I'm not upset about it, to be honest, but similar to the January spread, I painted these cherry blossoms, and I cut them all out, and it was a really long, tedious project, and in the end I probably didn't have enough cherry blossoms to fill all my pages how I wanted them to be filled, but I think it looks okay. I think it looks alright. I certainly like this first page spread. I do feel like it's lacking something, maybe some sort of border. Please let me know in the comments what you think I could add to it to finish it off, or whether you think it works well and whether it ties into the rest of the spreads quite well. Right, so after the long process of painting all of those and cutting them all out, I almost had myself some little decals, is that what you call decals, to add onto my pages, and that's just what I did. So I just started with this front page here, which is simple, just stick that on. Then I went for this vine over my tracker. I thought it worked really well there because the weight section of that I could afford to cover over, because basically it's filled in and only allows me to fill in the Mondays of every week, so I kind of know exactly what that page is, that column is for, so covering that with the vine didn't really matter too much. Again, I don't know whether this is always too much black on these pages, but it is what it is. I can't really stop that. But what I really enjoyed was actually painting the little petals and having them almost drop down from the different cherry blossom flowers that I have dotted about. And again, I just filled in my weekly spreads, same as I have for the last few months, with just the separated into 8 segments. So I have Monday through to Sunday, and then a notes page, and I added this little bit of pink with the brush pens that I mentioned at the start, just to tie in the pink and kind of soften the black a little bit. Maybe I need to do that on my tracker page. Again, do let me know in the comments below if that's what you think I should do. And then I went ahead and started to glue on all of these cherry blossom flowers, which, like I said, I don't think I have enough, but maybe too many more would have been too much on the page. They're kind of just a bit more sparse, but I really didn't want to go for that kind of up and down viney look that I had for last month. I wanted it to be slightly more different, and that's what I went with. And then I added a little bit of green just to kind of tie it into the other pages. But I'll let you watch the rest of this video and you can hear my overall thoughts, and we'll do a flick through of what we have done at the end. Right, so the May setup is finished. I actually really enjoyed this in the end. At first it started off a little rocky. I was doing this kind of opening page here and I painted it on the paper, and I wanted a really nice deckled circular edge around it, but I just couldn't get the... I'd done this basically not very circular, it was a bit more oval, and so it just looked a bit silly. So this is how I ended up doing it, which then kind of set the premise for the rest of the book. I did initially want maybe a pink wash in the background here, but it just was going to look too much, so I just stuck with that on there. Again, with my tracker, I just did a couple of paintings of these. I didn't really plan them, I just knew the width that I needed to stick to, and then I just stuck them where I thought they needed to be, and had a few little cherry blossom petals just dropping down there, which I thought added a little bit extra to these pages. Then with these, I didn't want the harsh lines, and I didn't want to have to do vines with all the cherry blossoms in between. I basically didn't want it to look similar to this, and so I just painted a load of little cherry blossoms, a load of little petals and buds, cut them all out and stuck them where I thought they needed to be, added a little bit of a pink behind the words so that it kind of popped, and added that colour. And then I just went in with a bit of watercolour and added a couple of really loose vines on here just to add that green back in, so that it was kind of matching the green vibe that we had going on with the front 2 pages. So I had that for the rest of the months and kind of just mixed it up and changed where it needed to be. And then I ended on this kind of double page spread, but I only needed 3 boxes for the weekdays, and so I added a couple of petals, left this bit more sparse so that I can maybe expand my notes or add a different list here. And then I added a to-do list, like a bit of a generic one, because I'm constantly using just a notepad to write my to-do lists up, so I thought I might have a monthly to-do list. I'm planning on a new product launch soon, and so I can write all my to-dos in there, and that will finish the month off so that I have that new double page spread ready for the month of June. So I'm really pleased with it. I think it's really understated, but really lovely pop of pink and a pop of colour. And I just think it's something a bit more simple. And a lot of my spreads are simple because I don't have the time to be spending hours on these spreads, and I need them to be more functional for my planning day-to-day kind of to-dos, and that's why I've kind of honed this more simplified spread making. And I know they're very simple and very samey, but I hope you're enjoying seeing the artwork all the same. And I think I'm getting into the groove of creating these spreads now. Now I have a good base to work off. So I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next videos. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.